before this video gets started, I just wanted to say that this is a Discord call from June 23rd, 2023, and that these are mods on the Creatures of Scenaria Discord talking about the new Recode update for Creatures of Scenaria. What they're talking about is stuff that is official release and answering some questions, so if that sounds like you, please stay tuned for what they're going to be talking about.
The creature right away today, like when the creature goes out, make a mod mail ticket or put it on the message wall. Tell someone, because if you come to us like a week after and you're like, I didn't get it, we're not gonna give it to you. It like day of, if you don't end up getting it, you gotta tell us. What do we DM you if we don't get the species? Open a mod mail ticket. If mod mail is full, then absolutely you can DM me. That I just ruined myself by saying that.
Toasty.
I don't care. It's what I'm supposed to do. If you DM me some nonsense,
how do you
I will
open a
block
mod
you.
mail ticket? That's a great question. Toasty,
So
why don't you
good
take that
question.
away?
All right, friends. Here's how you open a mod mail ticket. You go to the mod mail bot, or you go up to our wonderful channel called Mod Mail. Click that bad boy, and then it'll walk you through how to open a ticket. If you don't want to read all that, then here's the short version. You see where it says at Mod Mail? Click that little user, and then message them. Direct message the Mod Mail bot, and you could be like, "Hey," and then it'll start walking you through where you want to send your ticket to. If the only server you have is COS, then that'll be the only server that it'll give you an option to send to. If not, and you have other servers that got mod mail, make sure you send it to the right server. Otherwise, you're gonna say, I didn't get Miju Sama creature, and you're gonna send that to like, I don't know.
Miju Swima?
The juice one. Me juice. Me juice guy. Make sure you send it to COS and not some other server with mod mail, otherwise they're gonna be really confused. And don't send it to the mod mail server. Oh my god. I'm in the mod mail server, and the amount of people that like reach out to the mod mail, the actual mod mail staff, and are like, I am having problems with COS, and the mod mail staff is like, brother, that's not us.
Alternatively, if you're more old-fashioned and you don't know how to use this newfangled technology, you can mail a letter of complaint to Toasty's P.O. box.
Absolutely. My P.O. box is 1786. Middle
The
of
P.O. box
space.
doesn't start with numbers like that.
Saturn and the moon. I knew
Oh, so there's a question. Will the early Recode access, will it be a separate game to the original COS? So the last news that I personally heard on that is that it'll work like a subspace, similarly to how Test Realm works. Oh my god, Test Realm. Trade Realm works. So you know how like Trade Realm is technically a separate game, but only accessible through first logging into the COS main game. That's how it'll work. Will the Miju we get for purchasing EA transfer to our accounts when Recode comes out of early access? Yes. So Miju will be going to both your Recode early access data and to your live game data. And because all live game data is being transferred one-to-one to Recode when it overwrites the current COS game, you will keep that Miju onwards.
When is the free Recode coming out? No estimated release date, or no official release date.
There was a
what is it?
question about whether or not Miju will be tradable. Yes, it will be tradable.
Can someone please tell me how much Robux private servers will be? The classic 500. 500 Robux. Will we have access to every species in the early access, or do we start with nothing? You start with nothing. So it's like, remember when you first started playing COS? It's like that. It's like that.
So there may be some leniency in how you can acquire creatures for the sake of so that we get like an accurate testing view of how people play certain creatures and interact with the world.
Yes, Miju Suima will transfer over to the main game once it merges and it's fully released. Any teasers about the time gacha changes coming to the live game today? No teasers for you.
No teasers just yet, but keep your eyes peeled.
Will the growth be sped up like the CC showed, or growth like live game? It will not be sped up. Growth will be it will be how it is meant to be played.
Yes, so if you purchase early access, you will get your Miju both in live in the early access, and then once again in the final Recode stage once it overwrites the live game. And when you purchase Recode early access for a friend, you get the additional Miju species. So if your friend would like it and you have come to that agreement, you'll need to trade it with them, and Miju is tradable.
Will voice chat be in the Recode? Absolutely not.
No. No.
Absolutely not.
That's a hard no, and you cannot convince any of us otherwise.
I'm not gonna sit there and try to moderate VC in this game.
As much as I would love
That's what I'm
to
saying, Ma.
RP a
That's what
Manawi
I'm
family,
saying.
I think that would get chaotic quick.
Yeah, just join a Discord server and voice chat in there. Just don't take it to Roblox, please.
And then somebody asked how many Miju will you get additionally for purchasing early Recode access for a friend. You'll get one additional Miju for each purchase for a friend that you make. So if you buy 13 of your friends early access, you'll get the Miju for the personal purchase that you got and 13 more for your friends' purchases.
What if we just buy like 20 alts EA, so I get 20 Mijus, then you get 20 Mijus, I guess.
You do get 20 Mijus. You broke the economy. You did it. You got us, dude.
The more people that get Miju, the less it will be in value. So yeah, buy them. Keep buying them. I'm trying to get these questions. Do I have to already have EA to buy it for a friend? Yeah, so you have to buy it, right? That's how it
Yes,
goes?
correct.
You buy it and then buy it for your friend. If you have a question that isn't being answered, I highly suggest looking at DevFeed because a lot of the really prominent questions were answered by Ari in DevFeed. That way you can get your question answered promptly. We're trying to answer as many as we can, but some of these are repeats, which is fine. When will the Recode come out? Same time as the game usually updates.
Early
More or
access.
less. More or less. I don't want to promise anything because when promises are broken, community gets mad. So I'm not promising nothing. Will we be able to purchase private servers with the early access testing? I don't know. I don't know. Do you know? Kinder?
I do not know. I haven't heard plans for private servers, and I'm pretty close to development on this project, so I would not hold your breath for it. If it does come, it'll be a welcome surprise to us all.
Mm-hmm. Will there be a legacy COS version after Recode is out and free? I don't know. I would think not.
I don't think that's currently in the plan now.
What purpose does the Recode serve? Are we expecting better features, new model interaction? Okay, so the Recode is like, it's like COS, but HD. That's a really good one. Okay, so it's like improved UI. There's it's supposed to be less lag, but that's what we're testing, public testing for. It's basically like, I would look up the Recode trailer because that gives a very good kind of outlook on what to expect. It's a little outdated because things have been added, but it is probably the best sort of it encompasses everything that's main. That's a main change in the Recode map. Also, just look up content creators' videos about it because they have really good ones. Zotos is good. Is the Recode supposed to simulate the survival aspect that was always meant to be there? It would be a shame if the Recode became Puddle Huddle Simulator again. The game is whatever the community makes it. We can't really control what the community decides to do with the game. Like obviously we can make it. Obviously, like they can make it so it's like a little bit harder to just sit around and do nothing, which I think the Recode does a fantastic job of it because I playing it. It is definitely the environment has played like a key factor in making it difficult to just huddle around and do nothing and try and survive. So I think, in my honest opinion, I think that the Recode has done a fantastic job of making it more survivalist. Like you can't just sit around and not die.
Yeah, so I know the original appeal of Oasis in the current game was that it had easy access to shelter, food, and water spawns. But what we've done in the Recode map is sort of given each biome its own, not it's necessarily its own area like that, but water, food, shelter spread out in a way where there'll certainly be enough to sustain you in one place for a while, but quickly that food will run out, that water will become dirty, and you'll need to migrate to the next place. So you're welcome to set up little hubs with your friends, but eventually you will need to find new places throughout your gameplay experience to keep your creature alive.
Yeah. Like for example, like you can't just stay at one water spot and just drink and live there because the water gets nasty. Let me see. Why did you make COS and Roblox and not on its own platform? So I'm gonna just set the record straight. I'm not the creator of
COS
this game. I'm
gaming
not even a developer,
platform.
dog. I'm not even a developer, man. I'm just an admin. I'm just sitting
Our
here
next
speaking.
announcement: we're partnering with PlayStation to bring you the Play Scenario Box 360X
Yeah.
series.
So
Only you
this was
can only play
answered.
Scenario on it.
This was answered by Mary and Sam before. It's because COS is a good spot to have on Roblox because it's Roblox takes the audience that COS is geared towards and funnels it through one platform. Whereas if it was put on like Steam, it wouldn't be in the market for the target audience, if that makes sense. Does our mush remain the same from COS to Recode, or will all be gone like the creatures? Okay, so in early access, which is being released tonight, you will not have any of your stuff from the main COS game. When it's fully released, when the Recode is fully released, your data will be transferred, so you'll have your creatures and your mush. But for the early access, which is tonight, you won't have it. You'll be starting fresh. How will the Recode affect creatures as a whole? Is there going to be new movement systems? Are any creatures getting changes to their mechanics rather than remodels? The flight mechanics, honestly, are the biggest thing that I think is a change to like creatures. Also, jumping. Obviously, some creatures can jump now. I would honestly just say wait to play it for yourself to really look at the changes. Once Recode is officially out, how would holiday events work? Like any other holiday event? I don't know. It hasn't been a holiday. Will the title stay in Recode? No idea. Didn't y'all say that titles are always going to be a thing? Wasn't that said? I don't know.
So
This web we don't make
titles,
promises. No promises.
yeah, no promises, but we endeavor to keep titles in the official version of Recode. However, that particular system isn't a top priority for testing with the public right now. Yeah, smiles.
Yeah. So how do we play as different species with no mush and Recode? Correct me if I'm wrong, Kinder, but it's like how you start off in regular COS, right? Like you get starter creatures.
So I'll be able to better answer this question once me and my team test the version of Recode that you'll be seeing. Just because so far we've been given access to all creatures in order to properly test. I imagine that there will be an easy way in which to get creatures because the goal isn't to make you guys like grind forever just to get to a point where you have your favorite creature in Recode, right? Like the whole purpose of this early access testing is to get as many people playing as possible, is to get some good analytic data from how the community is interacting with the game, get some good bug reports, especially so we can start patching those as soon as possible. So yeah, we're not
just correct this real quick. I'm
we're not
sorry,
trying to
Kinder, I
make
didn't mean
y'all
to
like
interrupt you,
struggle
but
bus or anything. Go ahead.
I don't mean to interrupt you, Kinder, but no, you will not get access to all the creatures. Kinder was saying that in order to test it, the teams in the past got access to all the creatures. Like the tester team got access to creatures, but that will not happen here. Otherwise, there will be no point in testing, public testing of how it should look.
And also do understand that like in the background, you know, we're still doing a lot of last minute touches and you know, fixing different bugs. So things could change between now and update time. Those changes will all be communicated to you as best we can. But do know that it is like an ongoing development process. Like Alert and our other coders are like I'm in a chat with them right now and they're working very diligently to address all the bug reports that have been made. So yes, it's a situation that'll be updated as best we can.
So can you only access EA by a link in the Discord server? No. So the link to the actual experience will be posted on Discord, on the Twitter, but also it's gonna end up generating a lot of people. And so like any other Roblox game that starts generating a large amount of people playing a game, it'll probably end up being on the Discover page on Roblox at some point. So yeah, you'll be able to access it through Roblox anyways. You can also just search it when it comes out.
It's gonna be like playing the game for real, so no access. No access meaning you're not gonna have every creature unlocked automatically. It's gonna be the true, authentic experience of playing COS for the first time. Oh, here's a fun question. There's a question that says, can bigger creatures carry a bunch of smaller creatures like a bus ride? That sounds adorable. But no, you can only still grab one creature at a time. However, grab has been changed from what you know it to be in the live game. So it's no longer exclusive to carnivores. Instead, it's treated like an ability that needs to be placed on creatures specifically and intentionally. So our testers have come up with a list of creatures that will be getting the grab ability, and you'll be able to grab all tiers below you. So for example, let me think of somebody that has grab. Cyrudon, the aquatic, is a tier 5, I believe. If I just messed up,
Tread
all
carefully.
I know
Tread carefully.
all my testers are allowed to clown on me if I got that tier wrong.
Hey,
So
thank God we have a wiki search that we can just go to real quick.
Oh yeah, somebody wiki search me Cyrudon right now. It's
Someone wiki search
desperate.
Cyro!
I'm desperate. In fact, I'm gonna go to the channel right now. Where is it?
Oh, people are already on it. They're already on
People
it.
are
Oh
on it.
God, oh
Oh my
God, oh
god,
God.
thank you
It's tier
so
5.
much.
You were right. You were
It's
right.
tier
It's tier
5.
5. Let's
Oh,
go.
you guys are amazing. You guys are amazing. Okay, so back
Let's
to
go.
my point. So so grab will function like an ability that needs to be intentionally placed on specific creatures. Doesn't matter if they're carnivore, herbivore, photovore, or carny, doesn't matter, right? But Cyrudon will be getting grab, and Cyrudon is a tier 5. So Cyrudon will be able to grab creatures tiers 1 through 4 because it's a tier 5. And if there's another creature that's like a tier 3, then that creature will only be able to grab tiers 1 and 2. So yes, it's no longer a weight thing because we found that, you know, we're trying to make COS systems and abilities as easy to understand as possible, especially for newer, younger audiences that join and want to experience our game. And so instead of making you make some really difficult like number calculations in order to figure out whether or not you can pick up a creature, we've just decided to make it tier based. There's a question about creatures getting grab animations. Never say never, but that's not happening for this EA. I haven't necessarily heard any word of that.
Okay, so this is actually something I want to address now. So like right now, the game, like the Recode, is only translated to English. However, there is Roblox auto translate for other languages, but that really sucks. We're working to start getting the Recode translated as public testing is going on. So for my besties in other languages, apologies, you're gonna have to deal with Roblox auto translation with the Recode for now, but it's already in the works with the translation team to translate it properly.
Will we keep our stored creatures in EA? No. So early access, and this is detailed in dev feed as well. There will be no save data transferred to the early access of Recode because we need to get analytics from the community about how you guys are interacting with the game, what species you're choosing to play with and interact with. How that's just for early access though. Your data from live game will transfer 100% from live to like the end version of Recode when that overwrites the live game.
The EA have new keybinds, so the keybinds have changed for some actions, but it's all explained in the actual like game. Like there's different menus that will tell you that. No promises. I don't like promising anything because things change all the time. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
especially
Like,
since the Recode is early access. So once you do get access to the early access version of the Recode, things are subject to change. So everything that you're probably going to see is probably going to change at some point in the future. So we can't really make any like confirmations on that because we're gonna have a whole case where if it does get changed, it'll be like, oh, developers lied to us. How could they have said this? So yeah,
I'm so tired of the developers lying. All they do is lie.
but yeah, we can't really confirm anything in regards to that just because of that. So yeah, just keep in mind everything's subject to change in the future.
So you all will be experiencing COS for the very first time again, and this is so we can get some more accurate toasty.
I'm sorry.
You're fine. And this is just so we can get more accurate analytics on which creatures you're deciding to play, which creatures are dying most often, different bugs from the ground up. However, all of your data from live will be transferred 100% one-to-one to the official final version of Recode when it releases, whenever it does.
Will any flyers with talons get a talon grab, or will it remain as the usual mouth grab? I do not know, but it does sound very interesting. I think when it comes to like grabbing, well, I mean, actually, there are custom bites, so I guess it's not too far off for grabs, but that would generally just imply that the the point of which a creature's grab from will have to change. But I do not know that info because I am not a developer. But hopefully that answers your question.
That would
Not a
require
developer. That'd be
it would require separate prompts to our animators to make custom grab animations for every single creature that can grab, and
I know
that's
I think they were just talking about the point at which it grabs. Like for
I
flyers, they grab
see,
by
I
the
see.
talons instead of the mouth.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, for now it's gonna look like it exactly as it does in live game, with the grabbing point and all that. That is a really good suggestion. That would definitely make it feel a little more realistic, which I'm a fan of.
Will creatures be able to climb? I cannot confirm or deny any changes like that. That is not to say that it's going to happen because I'm 90% sure it's probably not going to, but considering that it is possible to get completely new abilities within the Recode, I wouldn't put it out of the question, but more or less, for now, I think the answer is probably not.
Yeah, I can say that the answer is definitely not, just because it's a current limitation of Roblox's functionality.
When early access was still to be available for everyone to play up until full release, no. It is 250 Robux if I remember correctly for the early access early access to the to the game. But by getting access to the early release, you will be able to get the funny little special early access creature. Isn't that right? Will heavier creatures sink in when trying to swim? Probably not, because there's very deep pools of water within the new Recode map. So if your poor Nullrock tries to cross a river and it sinks, you're probably limited to very few locations overall. So you know. Will you remove the vegan meat spawner? I cannot answer that because that's not an answer for me to give specifically, or at least for me specifically. That'll probably have to be answered by a developer. Does the beta creature you get when you play beta save when your data loads in the full release? If you're talking about the early access creature, the answer is yes, I believe so. How would land creatures live in the flood? They would go to higher ground. I'm pretty sure that's what anyone would do if they got stuck in a flood. You would probably go to higher ground. Water will slowly rise, so you'll be given like a warning beforehand when a flood happens. It's not like by a snap of a finger the flood water is gonna magically go up. It's gonna be like a slow rise, and you'll be able to see it and have reaction time to retreat to higher ground. Is Creature Scenario gonna cost Robux when the Recode is fully released into the game, or is it gonna stay free? It is going to stay free upon full release. It's only early access that has that costs a bit of Robux to play. The benefit of getting early access to Recode is not only will you be getting just early access, but also you'll be getting the early access creature. All of the gacha prices are the same, however, stored creature prices are now different. You can actually buy a specific female creature for a high price, and then you can buy a significantly cheaper male creature for a lower price. So this is for stored, by the way, in terms of that. So one creature will, like, for example, I think Pero, a stored Pero is like 5 shrooms, and like the female stored version would probably be like 100. Don't quote me on that. I'm just giving an idea of like the drastic change in between those prices. But yeah, how will spawn points be handled during a flood event? That is a good question that I wish I knew the answer to. It could probably be talked about if it hasn't already been discussed, but I think the spawn points are custom, where I mean there's no longer specific spawn points. Correct me if I'm wrong, Kinder.
Well, so there are, when you spawn in as a baby, there are certain spawn points that increase your chance of survivability, so you'll spawn closer to food and water just to like help you out since hey, you're a baby. And the plan is to have custom spawn points during a flood event so that you don't just spawn in and die immediately because what's the fun in that. However, as of testing last night, that feature's still being developed. So whether or not it'll be present in tonight's release of early access is still to be determined, but it's something that we know would be a huge quality of life addition and want to put out to you guys.
How long will floods last? At the moment, floods are for the duration of a thunderstorm, which is a weather event where it will start, pouring rain and thundering, and then a flood will gradually start to come in for that, and then by the time the storm departs, the floodwaters will go back down. How can we purchase the early access? Well, from my understanding, it's probably going to be its own little experience that you're going to be able to go in, and it'll be locked behind a paywall for early access. So you'll just have to pay for that once that link goes out, and then bada bing, bada boom, you are in early access. Recode. So bada bing, bada boom.
We're gonna send when it's like actually live, we're gonna send the link to the actual experience in the announcements channel, not in dev feed in the announcements channel, since it's its own experience and it's a major feature, so it'll be there too. And I'm pretty sure it's gonna be on the Twitter as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sid.
Yeah, I wouldn't see why not. Is the Recode out tonight? Well, if you saw in the trailer video, it said out Friday, and it just happens to be Friday today, so who knows? Will creatures have death animation? Probably not. Because that would suggest that all like 200 or plus creatures will have to get a death animation, and I don't think they want to prioritize
Lord.
that, especially when they are trying to animate jumping already. Is there a possibility that there's no water on the map? I don't think so. There's probably always going to be at least one drinkable water pool on the map, even if there is one that's already infected or already drinking up.
Oh yeah, so I see a question and some comments about aquatic jump height being too high. The height that you guys have seen so far in like the trailer and in different CC videos, that is not the final height. Heights are being appropriately scaled today, so you're not gonna have like a Cyrudon or an Axothan jumping a million studs in the air, and that's not gonna happen like that.
Will there be a new Velociraptor creature? I don't know. I'm not a developer, so I can't answer that. And if I do, I'm probably lying through my teeth because I do not have the power to validify any changes in regards to creatures that get accepted or denied. We'll be able to buy early access for friends once it rolls out. Yeah, I think so. You probably will.
There's a question of, will some abilities change in early access Recode? So, yes, there are some abilities that we've gone through and readdressed how they function, so they will be different.
They also have different effects as well, which is exciting.
Yes. There is a help index in Recode, which looks like a little question mark in your main menu, and then also from the settings menu, that will give you like an explanation and a rundown of abilities, ailments, and I'm blanking on the 4 categories. The help index is a work in progress, so take any grammatical errors or missing descriptions there with a grain of salt. Everything will be filled out in due time, but there's a new help index that will help you understand abilities that are out, and if there's missing descriptions, then you can experience the abilities for yourself.
Will there dance for trader in early access? No. You'll be getting a brand new start in early access, and then by the end of early access, your data will be wiped and then transferred to your main live game progress. So, just for the record, try. I mean, you can try to get everything in early access, but regardless, your data is going to be transferred to what live game currently has to offer over once Recode is fully released. So, just keep that in mind. Don't neglect the main game as well, because if you lag behind on the main game, then it's going to transfer over to the full Recode access.
All the creatures that release in live game will also be released in early access, just to make sure that everything looks as mirrored as possible. So, for example, like next week's creatures that release, they'll release in live, and they'll also be put into Recode early access. There are no NPC fish in this build of early access that you guys will be playing tonight. That doesn't mean that they won't ever appear, but they're just not present tonight. Follow up to that statement, there is a way for aquatic carnivore. There are like meat spawns underwater for aquatic carnivores. You guys won't have to depend solely on killing other players.
Do you think that Oasis will have its own hangout place? Okay, listen here. Okay, I'm grabbing you by the shoulders right now. Okay, do not. Everyone here that's listening right now, make your own Oasis. Okay. Don't go back to desert. Don't you dare. Make your own Oasis. Make your own journey, please. Change the
Can there
meta.
be an underwater oasis?
You know what? As far as I'm concerned, yes. Yes, there can be.
Yes, MB. The rate at which you earn mushrooms passively for just like being in game has not changed from the live. Except now you get a cute little pop-up every time you earn mush or time points on the left-hand side of your screen. Oh, well, I said earlier that my favorite part of the map is the ocean right below the floating islands, because there's some really great coral growth and little like ridges and areas for aquatics to swim through and hunt in. I'm really excited for you guys to experience aquatics because we've given a lot of love to them in this recode. And if you haven't ever played an aquatic before or don't like the way that they perform in live game, I strongly recommend, when early access comes out, to buy a stored aquatic and just check it out. It's a really fun experience. It's definitely something new from the live game, and it's something that we really want community feedback on. So go in, be a silly little. Let's see what's an aquatic. Chame, the little pancake guy. So your first question of can we turn the pop-ups for time and mush off? I don't believe there's a feature for that. There's a toggle for that in settings, but if that's a quality of life suggestion that we hear enough from the community, it's definitely something that we would consider integrating. And your second question is, will the creatures get restats? So there are a lot of creatures, and each creature has a lot of stats, which would take a very long time, not just to rebalance with each other and the new movement mechanics of Recode, but also asking our developers to go into the code and change the values. So the way that we'll be approaching restatting creatures for Recode will be purely based on community feedback. So let's say your favorite creature is Muraville, right? Buy a stored Muraville and you're playing it and you're like, this is fun and all, and it's a bug-free experience, but I really think that Muraville could benefit from more speed or more defense, or because the reflectability is different, like it could benefit from something else. That's kind of the feedback that the tester team will be looking at, and will then make changes based on that feedback.
Alright guys, it's been awesome, but I unfortunately have to go. I have to get prepared for some other stuff behind the scenes. So I hope you all have a good day, and I hope you
I have
guys
some behind the scenes stuff too.
I hope you guys enjoy the early access for the Recode if you decide to buy it. Alright, bye guys. Bye Toasty, yeah. Bye Toasty, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, friends.
Bye, Toka. Bye, bestie. I'll bother you later.
Sorry, looks like the Sydney
Awesome.
is over.
Enjoy your shake, I
this
won't.
is over.
Thank you.
This whole stage is over. All of you fools. It's been like
Alright, now it's time
an
for
hour.
the comedy show, actually.
Oh God. I'm ending
How
this
about
stage.
that
Goodbye,
airplane
everyone.
food?
Goodbye, everyone.
All
Run.
right, bye everybody. It's been real. I hope you are excited as we
Bye.
are. Does it close? Do we close it? Oh. All by myself. Don't wanna be all by myself. Tell you a joke. What did the bee say to his bee friend when they saw something really surprising? That's unbelievable.
Brother, what are you doing?
I was telling a bee. Do you want me to repeat my bee joke?
No, I heard it. Get out.
Okay, bye.
All of you leave. All of you get out.
Okay, so there you go. I hope that answers some questions for you guys. I am currently very sick, but I will be buying the early access Recode tonight. And I'll probably be streaming it if I feel okay, because I am very sick. If you can't tell. So I will see you all in the early access. Alright, bye bye.